Hello, mysterious person behind the screen, and welcome back to our ongoing series of Star Wars audio commentaries with me and Isaac.
Hello, everyone.
And this time we are starting the sequel trilogy with Episode 7, The Force Awakens. The first film so far where we don't have to specify what version we're watching, because as far as I'm aware, there's just the one version. There's been no changes or anything, so yeah, pretty much everyone should be in sync. So, without further ado,
if you'd like to sync this up with your own Blu-ray copy of Star Wars The Force Awakens, put the film to the start and press play in 3, 2, 1, go.
no Fox logo. Still feels weird to me.
And no Disney logo either.
No,
Now,
yeah.
for this film, I'm going to read the crawl in Mr. Burns' voice.
Oh, nice.
Star Wars. Excellent. Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Luke Skywalker has vanished. In his absence, the sinister First Order has risen from the ashes of the Empire and will not rest until Skywalker, the Last Jedi, has been destroyed.
The Last Jedi.
With the support of the Republic, General Leia Organa leads a brave resistance. She is desperate to find her brother Luke and gain his help in restoring peace and justice to the pilot on a secret mission to Jakku, where an old ally has discovered a clue to Luke's whereabouts. All he needs to do is take the spruce moose. Hop in! I said, hop in.
Oh, God. Oh, wonderful.
So I take it you saw this this was not counting the Clone Wars film. This is the first Star Wars film I saw in cinemas.
Yes, well, yeah, I did see it in cinemas. Yeah, I saw The Phantom Menace in 3D in the cinemas. But if we're going by new films, then yeah, this is the first new Star Wars film that I saw in the cinema. And yeah, God, the hype for this, like, oh, it was massive.
It's off the charts, yeah.
Really was, yeah. And I remember
And then,
actually, I managed to get my me and my friends managed to get our teacher, because we were in high school at the time, and we managed to get our teacher to let us go 5 minutes early, just so we could go see Star Wars. It was great.
Our teachers would never do that.
Yeah, she was pretty cool, to be
I mean,
fair.
a few of my teachers. I mean, a few of my teachers would, because sometimes if we went to go see a theatre performance, they'd let us have the day off school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's cool when teachers are like that.
But yeah. But this film, I kind of put this in the same category as A New Hope. Like, I could put this on any time, and it's my comfort Star Wars, because it's got that sense of fun. It's a visually gorgeous looking film, and yeah, I just really enjoy it.
Absolutely same. It's so much fun. It really is one of the most fun of all the Star Wars films. It's got that. It whips along at a really nice pace. It's just got so much sort of energy to it, and it's I forget how fun it is every time I watch it.
But the sequel trilogy has now. Before it was the prequel trilogy, but now it's the sequel trilogy that is the most despised thing in Star Wars.
Yeah.
The holiday special.
Yeah, and I think I feel like the opinion on this one has kind of softened since The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker came out, because I remember in between this and The Last Jedi, everyone hated this because it was a remake of A New Hope. Then when Last Jedi came out and Rise of Skywalker came out, this didn't really get featured in those discussions. Like, this seems to get let off the hook now, which is interesting. It's interesting, really.
Yeah, I mean, I know Sam Gavin, who runs Sam's channel. Um,
Oh yes,
he
yeah.
said that this is his favorite Star Wars film because I think he put it on his letterboxd of favorite films, and I think that's cool to have this as his
Oh yeah.
favorite. And I don't know if you saw, but recently he shared such an amazing article uh, about the sequel trilogy and Disney's reactions to the reactions of The Last
Yeah.
Jedi and how it more or less formed the rise of Skywalker. And yeah, I just have depressingly, it's so accurate because, I mean, we'll get to it. I mean, we've said that a lot throughout these commentaries, but Rise of Skywalker is the epitome of, hey, pathetic man babies, we hear you. We are your voice.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
I just, like you say, we will get to it, and I'm sure that the commentary for Rise of Skywalker will have many sort of ranty discussions. But yeah, after
yeah.
loving this and The Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker really just felt like trying to appeal to the people who were going to hate it anyway.
Exactly, yeah. It's like, no, we might as well not try because people are going to hate it. And
Yeah.
no, that's not the. I mean, I'm sure no one went into the film mate when they were making that. I'm sure no one went in with that mentality, but that's what it feels like with Rise of Skywalker.
It does,
Yeah.
and I think to bring it back to this film a little bit, this one and The Last Jedi, they both feel like there's so much love gone into every frame of them. Like every single frame of this
Oh
and The
yeah.
Last
You just
Jedi. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
yeah, because the documentaries on the sequel trilogies, like, they're practically as long as the films itself. But I'm glad they
Ah,
are
yeah.
because they are really great documentaries. And
They really are, yeah.
now, yeah, for this film, when it was released on that special edition Blu-ray 3D,
Oh,
did
yeah.
it come with a commentary by J.J. Abrams?
It did, yeah, because they did that really annoying thing where I think the commentary was recorded, but they didn't put it on the initial release. They waited to
Yeah.
put it on the 3D release, so you had to buy it again if you
No.
wanted the commentary. I think it's on
Yeah,
this release
because
though,
yeah,
the
because I've
most
got
up to date one.
oh well, I actually don't have the most up-to-date one because I bought it when it came out on Blu-ray. I bought those
Oh,
I bought the
nice,
light
yeah.
side edition because they did that
Ah,
light side and dark side edition.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got the dark side one at the time. I remember. Yeah. So
Oh, I got light because the white and the blue lightsaber look gorgeous.
it did.
But
Yeah. I think yeah. At the time, I was just sort of like, I don't really care which version I get as long as I get it really. But yeah.
yeah, and I don't really want to buy the Disney era Star Wars again because it's just the exact same content but a different slipcase. But if I can get
Yeah.
the slipcases for a reasonable price individually of the Blu-rays, then I'd be willing to do that just so they match,
Oh
um,
yeah. Yeah.
the prequels and the original trilogy releases.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be able. I'm sure there's somebody on eBay that that will sell those. I mean,
I went,
for
well, I
me,
looked last year when I was getting them. I couldn't find any.
maybe as the months go on,
Yeah.
they might. Who knows? I mean, for me, I was getting them anyway because I was rebuying them on 4K because it was cheaper to get them that way than in the box set. Um, but
Ah,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
the Blu-ray disc that's included is I had a look at it. It's identical to the original release. So no love lost there.
hmm Well, Disney have even said they wouldn't make any special edition changes to the sequel trilogy because I just don't think
Yeah.
they're that bothered.
No, yeah, no, there wouldn't, and I'm glad. But maybe in 30 years, J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson might get a bit like,
Yeah.
oh, I should improve that. But I mean, in fact, there's one change, but it's so minor. It's like the music's different in the end credits, and it was different in the cinema release or
Ah,
something. But
okay.
it's just one of those things where it's like it's not worth mentioning at all. Like,
hmm And right from the start, it kind of puts all those criticisms that the prequels had to rest, an emphasis on practical effects, more
mm,
colors, real stormtroopers, not CGI clones.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and Yeah, particularly with the Finn and Poe escape scene, there's definitely a lot more fun because, just in that small scene alone, they felt more like friends than Anakin and Obi-Wan did in the prequel trilogy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, I agree, and I think this is the funniest Star Wars film by far. I think maybe
Yeah,
yeah.
like a New Hope. I do think it has the funniest lines in it because it all comes from the interactions between the characters, and it's not all
Mm,
crammed into just one person like Jar Jar.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think an underrated moment is here as well when Poe stops to take a look around at this big like hangar that he's in, because in the prequels there was never everyone was just always so
Yeah, there was never
blasé to
any of
it.
that.
There was no awe or wonder to what these people were seeing. Whereas that little moment, I just think is
Yeah.
so sort of it's so good, really.
Mhm. I'm surprised John Boyega they had him change his accent because he is
Oh
British,
yeah.
but before I actually heard him speak, I actually thought he was American.
Same, yeah. His accent's amazing in this, and I think John Boyega's a really cool guy, and he's very, very outspoken about how disappointed he was with the way these films went,
He
specifically the
was,
last
yeah,
one, and I do feel sorry for him because in this
yeah,
film, he's in this film especially, that is such a cool concept, like a stormtrooper turning good, like it's such a
yeah.
really cool
Yeah,
concept.
exactly. When people say to me, "Oh, it's a copy of A New Hope," I'd say, in the broad sense, it is, but in the details, I'd say no, because I usually say, okay, point to the scene in A New Hope where you have a stormtrooper who defects.
Mm.
You can't,
Yes,
because there is
exactly.
none. Yeah,
Exactly, yeah, and I think I have problems with that because it's like, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line between a remake and homage? Because
yeah,
it's sort of like, well, yeah, in the broad strokes, it's the same story in a way, but like how many
yeah.
films are similar to one another? Like, do you say each Disney film is a remake of the last one just because in principle they kind of have the same broad strokes, same sort of
Do you
story,
say
but the details are different,
do
and
you
the
say each
details are different
James Bond
enough.
film is exactly the same?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it
Each
exactly.
James
Yeah,
Bond
and
film
yeah,
is exactly the same.
yeah,
Each Back to the
exactly,
Future film is exactly the same.
exactly.
And
Yeah, and I
also,
do. Yeah, I don't know. It's an odd
yeah, just
complaint.
like to say it is, yeah. I just like to say this opening with Rey is perfect. There's no dialogue, but it tells you everything you need to know about her character,
Mm,
how she
yeah,
survives on this planet, how long she's been there, what the
absolutely.
locals, should we say, think of her, because her quote unquote boss doesn't think much of her, and she's working
For sure.
many
Yeah,
hours, and there's no dialogue, and it's great. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I completely agree, and just this whole landscape looks gorgeous. Like Jakku, I remember people at the time going, "Oh, it's just a copy of Tatooine," but the whole landscape just looks
yeah.
gorgeous, and all the little creatures they've got running around that are 90% practical, just aided by CGI, and it really just
Yeah,
yeah. There's tons of little details in this opening section, like on Jakku and when we're introduced to Rey, that I just love. Like so many little tiny details, and Simon Pegg as Unkar Plutt.
that, yeah, there he is. Yeah,
Yeah,
and Edgar Wright is in The Last Jedi, isn't he, as a Resistance soldier?
he is. Yeah, yes, and Gareth Edwards is as well, I think.
Yeah, is Gareth Edwards the soldier who tastes crate and goes salt? Is that
I
him, or is
think
that
I
someone
think
else?
I think he's the guy next to him. I think he's the guy that sort of looks at that
Ah,
guy and
okay.
goes, "Hmm."
Because I can remember when Rise of Skywalker was coming out, Edgar Wright put a picture on his Instagram of his costume and said, "Unfortunately, I don't think Resistance Soldier 7 survived the Battle of Crate, so he will not be returning for the Rise of Skywalker."
I remember that. Yeah, oh, that was really cool.
Hmm. I also love John Williams. My favorite track from this film in particular is Rey's theme. It's
Yeah, it's
just
great.
it's really good.
It is really good, yeah. And I love that little performance detail there. Like she's kind of eating the food like a kid would eat the food. Like if you look at how she's chewing and
Yeah.
how she's chewing and how she's grabbing the food, it's almost like a kid. And I really like. I think that was intentional because it's like she's been there so
Hmm.
long and she's not really had anyone else to interact with. It's yeah, I really like that little
Yeah.
detail.
I remember people without I remember people thinking, having quote unquote fears that BB-8 was going to be the next Jar Jar. Because I remember when the teaser came out, people were like, "Ah, what's that droid doing?"
Oh yeah,
Like,
I remember that.
yeah.
I
But that's a
remember
real
that.
functioning prop, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's there's a whole section of the documentary for this that goes into just making BB-8 alone, and it's all done with
Hmm.
magnets, isn't it? It's like the head's magnetic, but it sort of slides a lot. It's a
Yeah.
really well done prop. And BB-8's great. I don't know anyone who has a problem with BB-8 now. Like you said at the time when the teaser came out,
Yeah.
in like 2014. You're right. I remember people going, "Oh, they're already including gimmicky characters," and it's like, you've seen 5 seconds of him in a trailer. How are you how are you judging him already? But no, I think he's great. He's a really cool little creation.
Yeah, I remember when those trailers came out, the reactions were off the chart. Like at the end of the first teaser when the Millennium Falcon appeared, like everyone just went
Oh yeah.
ah,
Oh yeah. That was
and
yeah.
everyone just went crazy at the end of the official trailer when Han Solo said, "Chewie, we're home."
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right. Like I can't watch that moment without hearing in my head as soon as he says it, like cheers, because that's how I remember hearing it, was people just going
yeah.
woo like after he says it. And it just feels weird to me when there's no cheers after he says it in the actual film, because that's just it's so sort of intrinsically
Hmm.
linked to that moment for me.
Yeah. I think what a lot of people can agree on is that their favorite thing about the sequel trilogy is Kylo Ren, and yeah, I'd have to agree. He's a brilliant
Yeah,
villain in that he's trying to be the next Darth Vader but never succeeding.
exactly. Yeah, and as much as I have with my frustrations with the Rise of Skywalker, I think all through each film in this trilogy, he is consistently fascinating, and like one of the best things I
Yeah,
think Star Wars
definitely.
has ever done. Well, like one of the best and most complex characters that Star Wars has ever done. And as you get through the films as well, that just that completely sort of rises in a way, really, like that complexity, and it's fantastic. He's such a cool character.
Yeah, because I remember so many people, quite a few people saying, if he's such a pretty boy, why does he wear the mask? Yeah, but you've
Yeah,
missed the point. He doesn't want to be a
exactly.
pretty boy. He wants to be the next Darth Vader. That's why he keeps the mask on. Because I think
Mm,
maybe before he unmasked himself, we all expected a deformed or old person under there, but it subverted our expectations. Because if you look at dark side antagonists, they're typically aliens, old men, or deformed people, but he
yeah.
changes that by looking like a young man. And also, I can see a bit of Hayden Christensen in there in terms of look.
Yeah, I can as well, and I think yeah, it was interesting because at the time he was, I didn't expect to see him unmasked in this film at the time. I thought they're going to go the route of Darth Vader and not unmask him for a while. So when he did it halfway through this, I remember at the
Hmm.
time thinking, "Oh, what's happening here?" And then seeing that he was just a young man, I thought, "Oh, that's interesting." I don't know how I feel about that, but like you said, as I thought about it and the whole thing, like you said, with his character wanting to be Darth Vader. I really like
Mm.
that whole that I really love that detail, and yeah, I just like you said, some people were like, "Oh, he's
Mm.
just a pretty boy. He's got nothing on Darth Vader," and I just sort of think, not one for subtext much, are you? Not one. Like it's just like, yeah,
This is what I really like about Finn in this film. He wants to do the right thing. He
yeah,
just doesn't know how to, if that makes sense. Like, he
mm,
needs people to help him. And yeah, because in Last Jedi, quite a few people criticize it, saying, why does he run away again? Why does he instantly try to abandon the resistance at the start? And I think it's because in this film, I don't think it contradicts anything in this film, because even if you look at the climax, he just says, I don't know how to turn Starkiller Base off, I'm just here to get Rey. He just really
yeah,
cares more about his closest friends, if that makes sense. But it's not particularly selfish. It's more just saying, I've worked with the First Order firsthand. I don't know how to stop them. We might as well just run away. Because
yeah.
yeah, he just says we need to get out of the system, and in a bit Poe says no, we need to go back to Jakku. That's important to the Resistance, and he just really doesn't care much because he thinks there's no point in fighting. And Last Jedi, that's what I think he learns. He ha- he can beat them if he works together with his friends for the greater good.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and oh, Thomas Brody Sangster there. Um, uh,
Yeah, there
yeah,
he is.
no, exactly. And I think again, it is probably more of a discussion for the forthcoming films, but I think I at the time I didn't have a problem with him being it having a lesser role in the Last Jedi because I assumed that he'll have a bigger one in Rise of Skywalker, but obviously Rise of Skywalker
Yeah,
happened and he was further sidelined. But um, yeah, no, I just
it's because I
his
wanted. It's because, in particular, I wanted a bit more of this, him interacting with the other characters. And obviously, he's got Rose in
yeah.
The Last Jedi, but he's just so separated from everyone until the climax, and it's kind of a shame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely agree, and I think he's one of the biggest sort of missed opportunities of this because that like his
Mm,
whole character, and I remember at the time think like he was in the media going, "Oh yeah, I'm one of the main characters and everything," and he was so happy and yeah, I don't know, it is a
yeah.
shame because he's like I love these scenes, I love like this whole them throwing quips
Hmm.
between one another and getting to know each other. It's an
Yeah, the
effective
whole.
way of building up the characters, and it's also hella entertaining. That's the thing. It's a good balance.
Yeah, I love that. The whole good to meet you, Poe. Good to meet you too, Finn.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
so
I think
good.
that
Yeah,
stuff's great. I think.
so much fun. Yeah, yeah,
In fact, I remember after this film came out, some people thought that they could be the first gay Star Wars couple. I'd be up for
yeah. I remember
that.
that. I remember that, and I remember Oscar Isaac was sort of up for it as well, but it never materialized.
Yeah.
And there's so much energy in that camera work as well, like going through the Tie Fighter and everything. It's got
Mm,
so much energy to it, and I think like the biggest thing with the
yeah.
sequel trilogy that I think people don't ever talk about, and it's such a shame, is the filmmaking in them because in all three of them the filmmaking is exceptional. Like the shots that they get, the energy of the
Yeah.
camera work, the editing in all three of them is fantastic. The Last Jedi is stunning to look at. I just yeah, just the
Hmm.
actual filmmaking in each one of them is top notch, and not enough people talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, which is such a shame, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I think everyone's biggest problem with the sequel trilogy, and I am inclined to agree, particularly when The Rise of Skywalker came out. I'm
mm.
sorry, we keep mentioning that a lot.
I know. Yeah,
um, is that it did lack focus, and there should have been like I felt maybe keep the writing team consistent, because this was done by J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan. Last Jedi was
Yeah.
obviously done by Rian Johnson all by himself, and
Mm.
Rise of Skywalker was done by Abrams and Chris Terrio. So yeah, I mean, was
Yeah.
Colin
Yeah.
Trevorrow going to write Episode 9 as well as direct it?
I believe so because I think that Duel of the Fates script that's floating around was written by him.
Mhm.
So I believe he was. I just yeah,
Yeah.
it is odd because I didn't like. I don't mind the fact that Rian Johnson came in because a lot of people go, "Oh, the Force Awakens set it up," and Rian Johnson just went, "Oh, I'm going to screw up all of the setup and stuff." I don't believe that at all. I do not believe it. I felt that, and I still
No,
feel that The Last Jedi was a natural continuation of this, and it built upon it nicely.
I do as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Rise of Sky. The reason I think you said that it's so unfocused is the third one because people reacted so negatively to the second one. The third one just goes
And
reverse all that, go back to the first one, like, and it just, like you say, lacks focus.
and it baffles me that Disney seem to listen to those. I'm going to say
Yeah,
basically a very loud minority. It baffles
mm.
me that they listen to them, because a company will care about money, and it's not like The Last Jedi bombed. It made $1.2 billion.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It really is insane that they listen to all that, and
And I know people do blame Solo bombing on The Last Jedi, as if to say, oh, it poisoned the Star Wars name for so long. Like, no, if you look a bit more of the context, you can see why it probably bombed. It did come out very quickly after The Last Jedi, like what, 5, 6 months, something like that.
yeah.
And it was also up against Infinity War, Deadpool 2, I think. I'm trying to think what else came out 2018 that summer. Uh,
There was a lot of stuff that
oh,
was coming out because
yeah.
I remember at the time like I didn't see it in cinemas until like it was about to go from my local cinema. I didn't see it for ages because I
Ah,
just
I
I wasn't
wasn't.
interested.
Yeah, because and obviously you hear about the is it Phil Lord and Christopher Miller? Is that their names?
Yeah, Lord and Miller, yeah.
Yeah, you hear about them getting fired, Ron Howard being brought in, and you thought, oh, it just spells
Mm,
disaster. But
yeah.
you know, uh, I wasn't too fussed on seeing it. But I went to MCM Comic Con, saw Oliver Harper's Fix It and Pose review live as
Oh
part of the
yeah, yeah.
convention, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought, and I just finished my second year of uni. I was still in my university town, and I had nothing better to do, so me and my mate just went to go see it, and I just walked out of it with a shrug, like, yeah, that was all right.
Shit,
It's fine.
that. Yeah, that's basically my thing as well. But I remember at the time, like as much as I wasn't interested in it, and as late as I saw it in the cinema, I remember thinking at the time when people were going, "Oh, it's because of the Last Jedi. The Last Jedi's killed Star Wars because it's ruined Solo and stuff." I remember thinking, well, no, me, who isn't really interested in seeing a Han Solo origin story, but loves Star Wars and loved The Last Jedi, I would rather see Infinity War again,
Yeah.
and I would rather see Deadpool 2 again than
Oh
see
yeah.
Solo because it Solo just got caught up in this huge couple of months for pop culture. Like it was a huge couple of months
Oh yeah.
for geek culture as a whole, and I just think it got lost in the shuffle. I don't think it had anything to do with The Last Jedi at all. And I remember thinking at the time it
Yeah.
was sort of a
Honestly,
baffling
I
reasoning.
felt. I thought if it came out Christmas 2018, it may have fared better, because I'd say its biggest
Mm,
competition that Christmas was probably Aquaman.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty
yeah.
much it. Yeah, and I felt it could have
Well,
fared better,
yeah.
because I know Aquaman did a lot. It grossed 1 billion, but Solo could have had a chance.
I think it was Aquaman and Into the Spider Verse as well, and they both did very well.
Yeah.
They both did very well, but like you said, this is and Solo was the one Star Wars film that of this new Disney era that didn't come out at Christmas, and it felt weird. It felt really weird at the time because I had become so used to like a Christmas tradition almost of a Star Wars film every year. So it felt weird at the time that it didn't do that, and I think that took people off guard. Like because I think the casual viewers, the movie going public, had expected to see a Star Wars film every Christmas. So when one was coming out like 5 months after the last one, it just sort of, I bet a lot of people thought, oh, that's just the same one from a few months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love this set piece. I think this is so much fun.
Yeah, and I love it's such a small detail, but I quite like Finn's insecurities here. You know, he's trying to act tough, like, yeah, oh, I'm with the resistance, and he's trying to be the hero by, taking raised hand. I love that. Stop taking my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. He's trying to be the hero, but he just doesn't know how to be.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's a really good starting point for a character. And I also like Rey as well, because if you look throughout the trilogy, she doesn't want to be the hero because she feels she is nobody. And The Last Jedi did confirm she is nobody until Rise of Skywalker. But
yeah,
because she expects everyone else to be the hero for her, because she just says, I just want to go back to Jakku and wait for my parents.
yeah.
But yeah, because like when she gives Luke the lightsaber, she expects him to come back and be the hero so she can just get on her way. And yeah, she wants to be the hero, but because she feels she's not important. But
yeah. And I think that comes into play nicely in the second film when people are kind of using her and she's being pulled in so many different directions, and she doesn't know who she is anymore because so many people are telling her who she should be, and she has no clue who she is anymore. And I think that works really well in the overall sort of, and even in the third one, I think that does kind of still work because it's just this whole thing of people just using her and telling her what she should be. But yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things about this trilogy.
yeah, because there's that debate of whether or not she's a Mary Sue.
Yeah, which again, I I hate to say it, but if she was a man, I don't know if we'd be having this conversation. Because
I mean, is Superman a Mary Sue because he's practically imperfect and can do anything?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't like. I don't know why people had such a problem with her being able to do all of this stuff without any training, because it's like, well, I just took it at the time as, oh, she's very powerful with the Force, because that's established in this universe that some people are so powerful with the Force that they can do these things, and they might not know how to control it, but they can do it. And I just took that as, at the time, I don't know, I didn't get the whole thing where everyone was like, oh, she needs training to be able to fight Kylo Ren, and it's sort of like, well, I don't know.
But
don't really buy
also the
into
thing
that.
is, she's got a staff as a weapon. She's got a staff as a weapon, so it's not too different from using a sword. Well, a lightsaber, but yeah, because I always took the Force as just believing, really.
Yes.
As long as you believe you can have the Force. That's my interpretation of it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and I think, well, like you say, that her experience with living on her own for years and fending for herself is probably adding to that as well, right? Like that must be adding to how sort of self-reliant she is, and yeah, it's again, I don't buy into that.
And I do like this. Yeah, and again, this space battle is really good because there's the fear of crashing, and and Rey clearly does struggle here because she says it's not so easy without a co-pilot, and
yeah, exactly, yeah. I agree, and yeah, like you said, like, and it's dangerous as well because they're flying between rubble and they keep nearly missing it, and it's there's a genuine sense of threat outside of the TIE fighters. I think that's the thing. It's not just the TIEs that's a threat. It's the insanely like rough conditions that they're in.
Yeah. And I'll say this: if you dislike the sequel trilogy, fair enough, but there's no need to be an arsehole and say, you can like this trilogy, it's fine, but you have to admit it's an objectively poorly written mess, blah, 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 blah. Now listen to this 6-hour video of me explaining why it's bad and you're wrong. Like,
yeah.
No, I don't need to admit that. Writing is subjective. If you
yes,
think
exactly.
something's brilliantly written, that's subjective. You think it's poorly written, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and
you just want to sit back and enjoy film.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that we should probably clear that up now, like, because we've been praising this so far, and I, as a defender of, I think me and you would safely say that we like the sequel trilogy, like third one aside. But that's not us saying that if you dislike this trilogy, you're wrong, because that's not the case. Like, I know many people who have perfectly valid criticisms of this, and that's fine. I might not agree, but it's a valid opinion to have, and that's absolutely fine. But like you said, likewise, I hate the whole belief of like, oh, if you like it in the same way you like The Room, that's fine, but it's not a good. And I saw that the other day on a Doctor Who post. Actually, it was Chris Chibnall's birthday. And someone was like, no offense, but if you're being serious about liking series 11 and 12, I can't take any of your opinions seriously. And it's like, well, fuck you. It's just like, I don't know.
It's like that anything can be objectively bad, thus you are wrong. Like, I should listen to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't, because I don't believe in that whole it's objectively bad, like, because, I'm an adult and it doesn't keep me up at night if people have a different opinion to me.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly, yeah. And I think, having said that, if your reasoning for not liking this trilogy boils down to there were people that weren't white in it, fuck you. You are wrong there. That, you are wrong. But like I said, in terms of just discussing the quality of the films, then that's just let people have opinions.
Yeah. I don't care if you've got 350,000 subscribers, people with 3.5 subscribers can like it as well.
Exactly, exactly. Also, I don't know if you can hear this, but my laptop is making this really loud grinding sound, and I think it's going to blow up. So I'm scared. I'm really scared. So if I stop talking halfway through this commentary, it's because I'm dead.
Okay, it's not piping hot, is it? Like there's no smoke.
No, it's all good. It's just making this really loud grinding sound, and like, oh god, I don't know what's happening there. That would be fun.
My PS, when I used to have a PS4, it'd like sound like a jet engine taking off, so I don't think it's anything to worry about too much.
Yeah. Oh, I really like this. The thumb up with the with the lighter. That's
and
really fun.
I kind of like his taken aback reaction when he says, "I'm not with the resistance." Like, what?
yeah. And he's looking between Rey and Finn, like, what should I do? There's so much personality in that character.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's in The Last Jedi, and it's so cheesy, but I love when Poe's reunited with him, he goes, "Yes, here you are, my good boy," and he pets him like a dog. I think,
yes.
I don't care if that's cheesy. That's pretty funny.
I love it, and he starts like
shows
rubbing
the relationship they have. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
so
belly.
Good. I guess.
Maybe droids are the dogs in this universe.
Yeah, maybe. Man's best friend.
Yeah.
think the only line that I don't like between these two, and we might have missed it, but I don't know that we have. Is when Finn goes to Rey. Oh, you got a boyfriend? You got a cute boyfriend? It's like that's a bit out of place.
Yeah,
But that's the only sort of bit in this
yeah,
where I'm
that
like,
seems a bit.
yeah, it's sort of like this is what are we watching here? Is it like soap opera? I don't know.
I'm just thinking, is the sequel trilogy the only trilogy that doesn't have a romance in it?
I think so, unless
Because with
yeah.
because
Oh
with the
God, yeah.
originals you had Han and Leia, and the prequels you had Anakin and Padme. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I guess so. And I mean, yeah, because I remember at the time thinking they were building something up between these two, but that never happened. And it
oh yeah, because there's
there's
that. Oh, there's
yeah.
that stupid recurring thing in Rise of Skywalker. Ray, I need to tell you something. What? Ray,
Oh yeah. Oh
I.
God, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, even in this in the Last Jedi, there's clearly I think he likes her, but I think she knows that he likes her, but there's just a mutual sort of like strong friendship between the two, and yeah, it never really
last
goes
we got
anywhere.
friend
But
zoned.
yeah, basically. Didn't Harrison Ford break his leg on this? Didn't he get off the little um ramp on the
Yeah, I
Millennium Falcon? He
remember.
broke his leg.
It was in the. Yeah, he did. I can remember that making the news on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I really like Hart in this because he's gone from that lovable scoundrel to someone who's a bit more wiser, and
Yeah, yeah.
he now believes in the Force because he says it's true, all of it. Compare that to when we first met him. He was like, "Eh, I've seen all sorts of stuff. I don't believe in the Force and things like that." Yeah.
Yeah, it works really nicely, and I love that his relationship with Chewie has sort of got to a point as well where it's just like they've been with each other so long that, like, when Finn says to Chewie, "Wasn't he a war hero?" and Chewie just goes, "Oh, I don't fucking know." Like it's just that there's clearly just they're like almost like two old men who are just like, oh, it's great.
But I'd say when yeah, the problem is when Han dies, Chewie kind of loses his purpose as well because
Yeah.
you know Chewie's kind of a reactionary character without Han, who had the closest bond with him and could easily
Mm.
speak to him.
Yeah.
Chewie just kind of becomes a bit pointless. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. Although I do love that bit in the third one where like he gets told that Leia's died and he just breaks down. Like he just starts roaring and like
Mm.
he collapses to the ground. I love that bit.
Then it's ruined by saying, "Here, Chewie, here's your medal."
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember when that happened in the cinema. I just wanted to stand up and shout, "Oh, fuck off!" But I was respectful.
Yeah.
Oh, it pissed me off so much.
I know a lot of people criticize this whole section, but I don't mind it. I think it's quite fun. I don't think it's necessary,
I'd
but it's
say it's the
fun.
weakest part of the film because it just feels a bit much like a detour.
Yeah, I do agree. I think there's enough because this, we've already discussed this film excels at the banter and the action, and I think there's enough of that
Hmm.
to sort of keep it entertaining. But yeah, it does sort of feel like a detour. You're right, and I mean, when the Lego game came out, they made full use of this because it does feel like a video game
Oh
mission,
yeah.
and they really translated that well to the actual game. So I guess it serves its purpose for that. But
I do like how he has gone back to his smuggling ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And he feels so authentically Han as well. Because you see Harrison Ford in
Yeah.
interviews, and he's always like this, like he's droning on, and like, but in this, he's puts a lot of energy into it. He feels very much like classic Han,
Yeah.
classic Han, but evolved, like you said, like his character has grown
Yeah.
and everything. But
Because I remember he was asked um, you've been a new Blade Runner. Is it your mission every one of your most famous films? And he says, "You bet your ass it is."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Didn't he voice him in that brief cameo in the Lego movie as well?
I think so. I think he did. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when the Millennium Falcon pops up and says, "Ah, Chewie, the Falcon's taking us to Loserville like this place." I know if you mention the holiday special to Han Solo, he just Harrison Ford, I mean, he just freezes and acts like he's having Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
He just freezes and he's like, To be fair, if I was involved with that and the interviewer asked me about that, I'd probably say, "Okay, bye." I'd just take the mic off and be
Yeah.
like, "See you later."
Well, there's that one where Anthony Daniels was doing a press tour for the first release of the films on Blu-ray, and it's on YouTube. This interviewer asks about the holiday special, and he goes,
Hmm.
"Can we cut tape? I didn't agree to this. I didn't agree to this." Yeah, watching this, and I know it was like, it's 5 years ago now. Like, well, even longer since they filmed it. Um,
Mm,
you know, 6, 7 years ago since they filmed this now. I am sort of thinking this was 6, 7 years ago. How is Harrison Ford, who doesn't look like a spring chicken when he's running down these corridors, how is he going to manage an Indiana Jones 5?
yeah,
Like, it is sort of like.
I have no idea.
I sort of think when that comes out, it might be a bit embarrassing because it's just sort of like,
Yeah.
it's like watching your dad like do karaoke or something. Like, I don't know. It's we'll see how that turns out.
What we need now is one of those Rathars to show up in the Millennium Falcon seat and be like, "Chewie, there's a huge Rather in the Falcon. I hate Rathars.
Yeah.
There's a big snake in the plane, Doc. I hate snakes."
Why did it have to be Rathtar's? So I think, yeah, like in these sections when Chewie's being running around and like being heavily involved in the action, it's Junus Sutamo who's doing it. But I think later on, like when
Yeah,
he's sat
that's it.
down, when he's sat down, I think it's Peter Mayhew.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think these scenes might be Peter Mayhew when he's lying down on the thing.
Yeah. Did he do anything for The Last Jedi, or was it just him sitting down?
I don't. I think by the Last Jedi, it might have been all Junus. I'm not sure though. I'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah. Hmm. mean, I still think they should have used Peter Mayhew's voice. The old man's mad.
Yeah, yeah. That guy turned up in Doctor Who, didn't he? The Scottish guy. He was in The Eaters of Light.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's one of the Roman. Was it Romans? I've not seen that since it was broadcast, but he was in The Eaters of Light, and I remember.
Yeah, I've not seen that in a while.
Yeah, I remember
Mm,
him popping up and being like, "Han Solo, you're a dead man," like,
mm.
because that's just what came to my head initially.
Now, I do think with Snoke in this film, the CGI is definitely the weakest of this film because
Yeah,
by The Last
yeah,
Jedi, he looks fantastic, but
yeah. Agreed.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think in The Last Jedi, because obviously we were seeing him as he looked properly. I think I think more time was spent on it, and obviously Andy Serkis was in the motion capture and everything. I remember at the time sort of thinking, what I didn't know what it was really. Is this was he a giant? Was he an actual giant? And at the end, it sort of confirmed that it's a hologram. But
Yeah, I
it's
thought that as yeah, I thought that as well. Like, is he a giant? But because
yeah.
that could have been cool, but then yeah, again, he's just another deformed guy. Now, did you have any after between this film and The Last Jedi? Did you have any theories about who Snoke was?
I can't remember that I had any. I think it because I sort of my instinct from the dialogue here was that he was just another emperor type who was trying to conquer the galaxy. But sort of remember thinking,
Yeah,
well, it's going to be kind of a boring route to go down. But I like, yeah, I don't remember having any theories. I know a lot of people were like, I saw one once. It was like, oh, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he like as a Force ghost, and his Force ghost has been corrupted, and Obi-Wan's turned evil. And I was just like, what? I was just like,
yeah.
how did you come to that conclusion? But yeah, no. Did you have any?
hmm Not really. No, I just thought he's probably going to be an original creation. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And I was right. But yeah, there was theories that Snoke was Darth Plagueis the Wise or Mace Windu or that stormtrooper that hit his head
Oh yeah.
in A New Hope.
Oh, that's where the misshapen head comes from.
Yeah, yeah. And to be honest, I think Snoke being Palpatine's creation, I don't think is a particularly a bad idea, and
Yeah.
neither is Kylo Ren speaking to Vader and that actually being Palpatine just using Vader's voice, because I can remember going away thinking, well, why would it be Vader speaking to him? Because he turned from the dark to the light again, so why would he be sending his
Yeah.
grandson down the dark? So,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that being Palpatine, I do think makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It does make sense. Yeah. I just wish it was sort of more. I don't know, built up to. I don't know. Again,
Yeah,
that's getting into Rise of Skywalker talk, but
yeah, because I've seen the Unusual Suspects sequel trilogy video, and he brought up some really great points that could have been fantastic. Like, don't have Rey be Palpatine's granddaughter, have her be his literal creation. He figured
yeah,
out how to, as he says in episode 3, manipulate the midi-chlorians to create life. Yeah.
yeah,
And I know George Lucas's original plans for the sequel trilogy, what he wanted to do was something like how do you move on after you've defeated the evil? How do you move on when you're rebuilding the society you've been fighting
yeah,
for?
yeah,
And he said apparently it would have been based on the aftermath of the Iraq War That
Oh
could have been
god,
really
yeah.
interesting.
It could have been interesting, yeah, and yeah,
Because
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of ideas of how this could have gone, isn't there? It's
hmm Yeah, I think because since 1983, the original trilogy was over, and there was so much material for people to
yeah,
think like, "Oh, what probably happened next?" Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But also I remember there's this when the casting was announced and it was like Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, and Daisy Ridley in particular was very much an unknown. I remember so many fan made posters where it was
hmm
Oscar Isaac and John Boyega as this two Jedi, and Daisy Ridley in the small corner of the poster wearing a tiara, looking like a princess, and it's just sort of like
Oh.
a lot of people would
Uh.
just sort of assumed that it would just be more of the same. And I think a lot of people wanted that from this, you know. I
mm,
think a lot of people wanted like just stuff we'd seen before, and that's very much clear from the third one. But
mm,
I know, and I'm you know, all right.
yeah.
This film does very much take the broad strokes of the story of Episode 4, but it's yeah, it's got enough different in it, I
hmm
think.
Because I remember, I think George Lucas wasn't the biggest fan of this film
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
said, "I like to rhyme, not repeat," and The Force Awakens for me just did too much repeat. And I think he said he liked The Last Jedi more because he felt, again, it rhymed. It didn't just repeat again.
Yes, yeah, no, I heard that, yeah, and that doesn't surprise me actually. That and because I know he called the Last Jedi beautifully made, didn't he? That's quite an infamous quote.
He did, yeah.
I really like this canteen as well. It's different enough to the one in Mos Eisley, and
hmm
it's kind of got a different atmosphere to it.
Yeah. Yeah, Maz Kanata looks like a dried up apricot.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine she picks it herself. Stop picking at it. Oh, but it's so sweet and tasty. Also, fun fact when she holds up the lightsaber and says, and Han asks, "Where'd you get that?" A good question for another time. That never gets answered.
It doesn't, but you know, like because
No.
after this, I remember there were people going, "Oh, that's such a plot hole," and it really started this. And this is a real bugbear of mine. The word plot hole is something that doesn't make sense in a story. Where Luke's lightsaber was, in my eyes, is not a plot hole. It's a piece of information that in this film we're not privy to because it's not important. We don't need a 20-minute flashback to slow the action down
Yeah.
in this film here. And that's not a plot
hmm
hole. That's really not a plot hole.
Yep.
It's a real bugbear of mine when people are like it's such a plot hole. It's like no, it isn't. It's not important.
hmm Yeah. wonder if people have complained. How do you get the Darth Vader helmet?
I was about to say, yeah,
Uh,
like I don't. It's it's just like
uh,
some things like, and again that brings me back to my point. Like I've said it a few times in these commentaries. It's like if you go that deep into every little detail, you will never ever enjoy anything. Like you will never be
yeah,
happy with anything.
it's how we it's how we got a film like Beauty and the Beast 2017, in that it
Yeah,
seeks to take all of that quote unquote criticism of the original and basically apply it in that film, basically saying, we hear your criticisms, here's now a pitch perfect version where none of the magic is there. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
it's unfortunate that that kind of cinema sins, as entertaining as their videos are,
yeah.
unfortunately, and I think unintentionally on their part, have kind of cultivated
Hmm.
this weird level of criticism where nitpicks and continuity issues are now seen as genuine mistakes
Hmm.
when that's not the case.
Yeah, exactly.
That is not the case, and it's
Hmm.
unfortunate because cinema sins are entertaining, and I don't think that they meant to influence people's criticisms. But unfortunately, that's what's happened because you now get people
Yeah.
going, "Oh, in this one scene, you could see the camera and the reflection, therefore it's a bad movie." And it's like, oh god,
Mm, I know.
it's unfortunate that that's happened.
Hmm.
Oh, it's Constable Zuvio. It's it's Constable Zuvio, the character that they made a million toys of, and then all of his scenes got cut from the film, so he just appears for this split second in this scene. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, he's the guy with the red helmet, and I've got a Funko Pop of him because I remember I went into a shop not long after this, and they were selling him off for £2, and there were loads of him. There were so many of him because the manufacturers had made so many toys of him, and then all of his scenes got cut from the film. So yeah, if
Hmm.
yeah, there he is, the guy with the red helmet. It's just funny to me, like there are landfills somewhere full of Constable Zuvio
Yeah.
toys.
Yeah, Finn and Rey can relate to each other because they were both taken from their families.
Exactly, yeah, and that's a really and earlier in the film
Hmm.
when he escaped, I don't know if you notice on the screens, you can see a little kid that they're looking at, and it's supposed to be Finn as
Yeah.
at the age he
Hmm.
was taken. So they both have in common that they were taken from their families at such a young age, and they've had to sort of the life has been
Hmm.
chosen for them, and they're both trying to escape what people are telling them they should do.
Hmm. I think it could have been interesting if Finn became a Jedi and if
Yeah,
Rey actually turned to the dark side. Again, I think this is what the Unusual Suspects said. When Kylo Ren at the end of this says, "You need a teacher. I can show you the ways of the Force." What if in the Last Jedi, she meets Luke, completely not what she expected, and
yeah,
yeah, that scene in the Last Jedi where Kylo Ren says, "Join me." What if she actually said, "Yes, I'll do it," and then
yeah.
oh, that could have led into such an awesome cliffhanger for Episode 8. Her eyes open, they turn Sith yellow and red, and
It
everyone
would have been
the credits roll, and
interesting.
everyone's like, "Well, fuck."
It
Yeah.
would have been really interesting, yeah.
Or better yet, if the Last Jedi actually ended with Kylo Ren saying, "Join me." I think Red Letter Media brought that up. it ends, and episode 9, if it had the balls to, and it could have had the balls to open with Rey being by Kylo Ren's side as his apprentice while they rule the galaxy as, well, you
Yeah.
can't say cousins because they're not related. Yeah. Because I remember there being theories again about Rey's parentage, that she's Luke's daughter, Obi-Wan's daughter, and yeah, I never
Yeah.
really I never really got involved with those theories because obviously it's fun to speculate and think what's going to happen next. But I was just, thinking, why can't she just be an original character? What if she's just someone who, wants to believe in the Force? She doesn't have to be connected to anyone.
Same, and I really liked. I'm a big fan of the idea that she was no one, Rey from nowhere.
Mhm.
Um, this
It's why
flashback.
she doesn't think she can be the hero.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that plays into the whole thing of like anyone can do this. It's being a
Mhm.
Skywalker is a symbol. Uh, being a
Mhm.
hero, and it's not. It's you don't have to be from a certain hierarchy or from a certain bloodline to be a hero. Anyone can be that.
Exactly. Yeah. Mhm.
This flashback sequence is really cool. Like the whole
Yeah.
hearing echoes from previous films and stuff, and you've got a cameo from Ewan McGregor here. At the end, he goes, "These are your
Yeah,
first
because he
steps."
says Ray, doesn't he?
Well, he you
Yeah.
yeah, he goes, "These are your first steps," and then archive audio of Alec Guinness going, "Don't be afraid." They've cut out the end of that and the start of that, so he
Ah.
goes, "Ray." So you can hear Alec Guinness going Ray, but it's from the bit where he goes, "Don't be afraid." So it's yeah.
Mhm.
I remember in the trailer, everyone thought that was Leia's arm because I seem to remember that the CGI wasn't quite finished because there's that where it's like the force is strong in my family.
Mhm.
I have it. My father has it. My sister has it. And over the shot of my sister has it, it was like
Mhm.
it was the shot of these two's arms, and there was a lightsaber, and everyone thought it was Leia.
And in my opinion, Captain Phasma should have been, because obviously Kylo Ren is Rey's opponent, but Captain Phasma should have been Finn's opponent. It's a
I agree.
representation of his old life and what he could become if he stayed with the First Order.
Hmm.
That stormtrooper that shouts traitor at him, that should have been Captain Phasma.
It should have been, yeah,
I mean,
and
don't kill her off, but just, have there be a duel where it ends in a stalemate or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and I actually, I guess we'll talk about it more next time. But I think the Star Wars saga could have ended with the Last Jedi, and it would be a nice round story because I know it ends with everyone losing, but it also
Yeah.
ends on a note of hope, and it ends on a note of this, this will get better, and
Yeah, because they.
anyone can help get this better. And it was, I'd be happy to end the saga there.
Yeah.
We've not really spoken about him, but what do you think of Domhnall Gleeson as Hux?
I really like him in both Force Awakens and Last Jedi. Having him be again, we keep cutting forward.
Yeah.
Having him be a spy is just having him be the spy is just stupid. It's completely out of nowhere.
I'm the spy. An alien spy.
In fact, I quite like how Hux and Kylo Ren, they're kind of young-looking guys,
Yeah, yeah,
because at a young age it's very easy to be corrupted, and
yeah,
obviously, yeah,
and to be
they've obviously been
influenced. Yeah.
corrupted by fascism.
Well, yeah, that's the
Hmm.
thing. Well, yeah, very potent Nazi imagery there with the stormtroopers. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
raising their hands. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We just missed Hannah John Carmen as well. He was obviously the ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's a lot of cameos from British actors in this.
Hmm.
Now, one thing that I do agree with, and I'm inclined to agree with this as a criticism of both this and the Last Jedi, is I do think we should have seen more of the New Republic and civilization before all these planets get
Hmm.
destroyed. Because as it is, we don't really know these planets, and seeing them get destroyed is sort of a bit.
Personally, I'd have cut out. Personally, I'd have had there not be a Starkiller base. Just had
Oh
there
yeah,
not be a Death Star again.
yeah, same. I agree. I
In the
agree,
words
but
of the unusual suspect, no more bloody Death Stars. Yeah, just one thing I've not noticed, just while watching this, there is a lot of, characters running away and not wanting to fight, but,
yeah,
this film is all about banding together and, preparing to do the right thing with each other.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, because both Ray and Finn, they just want to run away. They don't want to be a part of this.
yeah, 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 for sure.
Because on the one hand, Finn having the lightsaber, because I remember it was all over the poster and, yeah, the trailer, him with the lightsaber.
Yeah,
And on the one hand, I do like how it's a red herring because it's Ray who's supposed to have this weapon. But yeah, on the other hand, because I like Finn so much, I just wanted him to be a Jedi.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's I don't know.
Oh yeah, I also do like the new Stormtrooper design as well.
I do. Yeah, that it feels like a natural sort of evolution to the originals, and yeah, I really like them.
Hmm.
And I think there's such a sense of confidence to this film. Like this film just feels
Hmm.
really, like supremely confident, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's just like there's like a bouncy rhythm to it. Really, it's so well paced. I think.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I love how with the lightsaber he hasn't got a clue how to use it. He's just like,
Yeah,
stabby stabby.
stabby stab, and interesting because he's like, oh, I need a weapon. Like him not recognizing the fact that he has a weapon, like not seeing the lightsaber as a weapon. It sort of speaks to the state of you know, of the universe, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, again, this should have been Captain Phasma
Yeah.
saying traitor.
Well, the name of
Because
this.
how does this stormtrooper specifically know Finn?
Well, I think in the expanded universe, like surrounding this, they were like friends or something, but again, it's not in the film, so it doesn't count.
Oh,
But the
yeah,
name of
exactly.
this stormtrooper is actually TR8R. Traitor.
Ah, yeah.
So
And Daniel Craig's Stormtrooper, isn't he called
yeah,
literally 007?
he is. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I guess we should point out that in a minute, Tosin Cole's in this from Doctor
He
Who.
is, yeah.
He's one of the Resistance pilots, I believe.
I'm sure he's in the. Yeah, and I'm sure he's in the climax as well.
He is. Yeah, yeah.
When they're attacking Starkiller Base, yeah.
Oh, this is such a punch. This is so much fun. I love this. I remember in the cinema, this is like a punch the air moment of them all coming over the horizon to save the day. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's great.
And I really like that the Resistance theme sounds a lot like the Imperial March, but it's like a more triumphant, more heroic version of it.
Oh, yeah. hmm
Remember on the Lego game, this was so much fun because you could like freely fly around this environment shooting the TIE fighters, but if you wanted to, you could also
Ah,
shoot the stormtroopers on the ground and they'd go flying. It was really fun.
oh, that's cool. Yeah, because I didn't play the Lego game, but I did play. Was it on the PS4 or free? They released like a free demo level, and it's the Jakku chase where you've got to pilot the Falcon, and that was a
Oh
fun level.
yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that you said that had 15 levels, so
it had a
oh,
lot.
for the next and for the
Yeah.
Skywalker Saga Lego game, it's gonna be five levels for each episode.
I think it was 15 levels or something around that, but a lot of them were like spin-off levels, so it was like telling the story of the
Ah,
gap that like filling in the gaps between Return of the Jedi and this. Um so it was like filling in some of those gaps
okay.
and so there's like a level where it's like you play as a resistance member trying to like rescue Admiral Akbar because he's gone missing or something, and it's like a level where you have to go in and rescue him and then take him out again. It takes place between Return of the Jedi and this, which is kind of cool because it filled some of those gaps.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah, I
really
love
cool
the look
shot.
of the lightsabers. Yeah, the look of the lightsabers in this trilogy is great. They just look so alive, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like they pulsate. Yeah, because in the prequels they just kind of look like glow sticks.
yeah, agreed. And Kylo Ren as well. The fact that it's so unstable, and it mirrors his personality. Like it's
hmm
so sort of it's not controlled. It's so unstable, and
Yeah.
that's what Kylo Ren is really.
hmm Because I remember when the teaser for this came out, so many people were saying, "Oh, I watched it hundreds and hundreds of times," and I'm just like, "Yeah, yeah, I've only watched it once," and people were looking at me like that scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like, "What do you mean you only opened two? What do you mean you only saw it once? I just saw it once. Don't kill me."
Oh, this is the start of the meme. Because everyone always goes, well, Finn just got turned into a character whose only purpose was to run around and shout, Ray! Ray! Because he does it so many
hmm
times.
Yeah, because there's that stupid criticism at the sequel trilogy that it's there to make men look useless.
Oh
is there to
yeah,
beat
like
white men and prove that
uh
females are the stronger species. Like, oh, fuck
yeah.
off. Men can make mistakes as well, you know.
I love
Like, go
this scene.
outside maybe once in a while. Yeah. Like, I remember watching this in the cinema. I saw it with my cousin when 3PO popped up and went, "Goodness, Han Solo." He just went, "Oh, not him." Yeah.
I love it. It's
Cool.
perfectly captured that awkward
Yeah.
sort of chemistry of the original trilogy.
Mhm.
The awkward relationship between these two. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. It's like they've never been away.
Mhm. Come watch Robot Wars. The it's the robots from Battlestar Galactica versus the gay robots in Star Wars. Stop, please, save me, R2. Oh, you stupid little tramp. You're so boring. I hate you. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, if Mark Hamill's ever at a convention, doing a talk, I just hope he says, I'm going to recreate a scene from the film, and I need a volunteer to play Obi-Wan.
Kenobi.
I'd be like, Mark, Mark, pick me. My whole life has been leading to this moment. Like hell it does. If anyone's going to play Obi, it's me.
With the wing, wing, wing. That's not how you ring.
That's not how you wing. Now, Poe, was he originally going to... Right, in the first draft, was he originally going to die?
Uh, I believe so. Yeah, but I think
I've
they
heard
sort
that
of.
somewhere.
Yeah, he was, but I think it was not long after casting Oscar Isaac that they liked his chemistry so much with Finn, and they liked him that they decided to keep him around, which I'm
Okay.
happy about because he's great.
Oh yeah, I'm happy they did, yeah. hmm Yeah, and I do like how Poe is quite humble. He says, "Hey, that's my jacket. You keep it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks better on you." Is Poe a hero in Star Wars Battlefront 2, or is it just Finn
Oh,
and
I think
Rey?
so. I should think. I think he is.
hmm
So, have you seen the deleted scenes from this that then got repurposed in Rise of Skywalker?
No, I don't think so.
It's interesting to watch. Like, it's interesting to watch since Rise of Skywalker's come out because so much of the dialogue was used in that film
hmm
to obviously to have Leia involved. But this like it was an alternate opening where the opening was we were introduced to this resistance base and we were introduced to Leia straight away, and it was going to be them sending Poe off. Uh, it's yeah,
hmm okay.
which is where we get the line from Rise of Skywalker where it's like never underestimate a droid.
Two. Just reminds me of that scene from Wallace and Gromit there, where they see the cooker. Come on, stupid. Oh, I just want R2 to wake up and, you know, beat anyone, or zap anyone who tries to cut the planet and eat it. Yeah, I don't think quite a few people criticise this by saying their relationship was ruined, but as you grow older, you may think you've got the perfect relationship, but again, because they've been through such a trauma of Ben turning to the dark side,
Yeah.
they're it makes sense to me that their relationship would fall apart.
Same, yeah, absolutely same, and I think the chemistry's still there, and the relationship is as strong as
Mm-hmm.
ever. It's just natural that they would, like you say, that they would break down after their son gets seduced and all this, and Luke goes missing, and it's natural for me. In fact, it
I
probably
wonder
feel
if
weirder if they were business as usual.
yeah, I wonder if they had any coke parties during this one, during the making of this one.
Who knows? Yeah, so this was one of the biggest shocks for me, this unmasking scene, because I genuinely did not expect
It
it at
was,
all.
yeah, because I don't think his face was revealed at all in the trailers, so I think we all
No,
just
yeah.
accepted he looks deformed under there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Darth Vader wore a mask and a suit, obviously, to keep him alive, but yeah, this is what makes him a bit more fascinating than Vader, because he chooses to wear this. He
Yeah.
chooses to look intimidating
Yeah,
and
exactly, yeah.
completely disregard his older self.
And I mean, Adam Driver is just, like, one of the best actors Star Wars has ever had. Like, he is phenomenal in
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
And he just continues to get better as the
It's like
films go on.
I remember like the media saying, "You may be surprised that Adam Driver has a wife and kid." Oh, gee, I don't know. Maybe he just wants to keep them a secret because he doesn't want his whole entire personal life everywhere. Maybe consider that. Ugh.
I don't know if you've seen, it was from...
It's a bit like with John Lennon when he was. I was
Yeah,
just gonna
go
say
on.
it's like with John Lennon and the Beatles. He had to pretend that he wasn't married and had a son when they were on tour.
It's insane, isn't it? It's so, like... The media just
Yeah,
hound celebrities so much. Having said
yeah.
that,
There's that
yeah, go
video
on.
of Tobey Maguire just getting so angry at paparazzi.
Oh, yeah. Get
Just
out of the
being a
way!
yeah.
There's cars in the way, motherfucker! I can't see!
He should have what? He should have just said you'll get your interview when you fix this damn door.
Yeah. I don't blame him, to be fair, because they
Yeah,
were getting in his,
definitely.
and
Because
the Flash as well. He was trying to drive, and they were like, yeah, it's it's a terrible situation. But the same exact thing happened to Andrew Garfield when he was Spider-Man, and it's very interesting to see the two different
yeah,
reactions, because he gets out, slams the door really angrily, but then because Emma Stone was driving, and he was in the passenger seat, so he goes
okay,
around and guides her out. So he's quite calm about it. He's still angry, but he's quite calm. And then you've just got Tobey Maguire going, "Fuck you! Get out of the way, motherfucker!"
yeah, yeah. Because after this film, didn't Daisy Ridley get a lot of hate? Well, from basically angry, pathetic man babies,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, because she
and
has,
that's why she
yeah,
because she quit social media, didn't she? After this film,
she did, yeah. Because
I
for a
think.
while I was following her on social media, and I think it was up, and I think it was either after The Last Jedi or just before The Last Jedi, because she was posting pictures from the set of The Last Jedi, because I remember there's that infamous shot of her
Oh, nice.
on, like, Mark Hamill on her back. You probably will have seen it. when she's like giving him a piggyback, and it became a meme for a bit. But yeah, just she was, and she's spoken since about the hate she received. And again, if you don't like a character, it's not the actor's fault.
Fine. Does not give you the right to harass someone.
Exactly, yeah.
And it just amazes me that it's like they haven't learnt their lesson from the prequels with whole Ahmed Best and Jake Lloyd.
Yeah.
You know, who are constantly harassed, and it happened again with Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, exactly. It happened again, and
Yeah.
thankfully Kelly Marie Tran has really bounced back. Because she's now obviously in the new Disney film, and she's very clear that she's not taking any shit anymore. But God, just at the time, I remember following her on Instagram, and it was just like she was so positive. She was such a happy human being, and then she had to leave because people were sending her death threats, and it's like, what has she done? She's done nothing.
Because it pisses me off so much. Acting is the hardest business you can ever go into. You can spend years training, years getting your craft right, going months without an audition. You finally get that audition that maybe the progress lasted 3 months. They finally tell you, yes, you're in the next Star Wars or most popular franchise, and you get pathetic babies.
Yeah.
So I refuse to call them men. You get pathetic babies who live in their basement and say, "Oh, you can't. Oh, you were the worst thing ever."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And you get people like Ethan Van Sciver, who bought all those Rose Tico action figures. He bought 100 action figures, and he destroyed them on camera out of protest. And it's like,
right.
They're not going to care. You bought 100 of these. You bought 100 of these. No one's Disney aren't going to listen to you.
Yeah, Disney's probably laughing at you because you just gave them their money.
Yeah, exactly.
I can remember when Series 11 came out on Blu-ray, someone bought the Steelbook, they got it out of the box and just threw it in the bin.
I remember, yeah.
Put it on Twitter. I'm like, what are you trying to achieve? You just gave the BBC, £40 for them to keep going, so...
Yeah, exactly. 45, 50 quid, yeah.
God.
The logic is baffling, and that was the worst part about the Snyder Cut, because I enjoyed the Snyder Cut, much to my surprise, but unfortunately, in the credits, Ethan Van Sciver, who is notorious for being a massive douchebag for doing stuff like that, Ethan Van Sciver was given a special thanks in the credits because he supported it, which... Worst thing about the Snyder Cut was that, because I didn't want to have to see his name on my screen.
Because I swear there was also a YouTuber who was criticising Kelly Marie Tran's appearance, 8, something like that. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, no, I remember that, yeah. It's just so annoying.
Just fuck you.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah,
and,
you don't deserve Star Wars.
I'll talk more about Kelly Marie Tran next week, because obviously that's next week's her film.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's yeah. So we had the.
It also irritates me when people say Star Wars. I was just gonna say, just going back to that whole toxic fan base. It irritates me so much, and it also happens in Doctor Who as well. When people say, "Oh, I hope you're happy, Kathleen Kennedy and Chris Chibnall. You made the fan base divided like this. You caused this toxic behaviour." No, they didn't. They never said, watch this film and then be a douchebag to everyone else if you didn't like it, or if you did like it. They never say that. So it's all completely on you. You choose to be a complete arsehole. It's not on them. The only person here to blame is yourself, but you won't blame yourself because you've got a huge ego. Imaginary person.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Content creators create content. That content is there to be seen.
Correct.
You can consume that content. You can like it or you can dislike it. Very few times have content creators gone out of their way to produce something as big as Star Wars or as big as Doctor Who with the intention of dividing a fan base. That's nobody's intention. If you don't align with the creative vision of somebody, that's on you. And you can that's absolutely fine. But that doesn't mean they're trying to divide anybody. That's just them putting their vision out there. And that's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because saying, oh, Kathleen Kennedy and Chris Chibnall, they caused this toxic behaviour. That's like me grabbing a knife, stabbing someone, and saying, I found this in the kitchen. The kitchen caused me to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's absolutely like when people are like, oh, The Force Awakens is too similar to A New Hope, The Last Jedi ruined my childhood, and the Rise of Skywalker it raped my childhood or whatever. I'm just like, God,
Yeah.
geeks were bullied in school in the 80s and the 90s. Like, people who were passionate about media and pop culture were bullied so hard in school, and now that's popular. Maybe the jocks should have bullied you. If you're going to act like this, maybe you should have been bullied. Maybe they had a point. Because, like, if you're acting like this, like... Ah.
I was just going to say, just because your quote-unquote childhood was ruined doesn't mean you can then ruin the adulthood for all of those involved.
Yeah, exactly. It's just... Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Now, whenever someone brings up midichlorians, I use in a light-hearted way Ham's line, that's not how the Force works.
Yeah. Oh, really? You're cold? It's great. It's really good.
Yeah. And again, just reminding viewers of Star Wars, because you've got the three main planets we see in this are evocative of Tatooine, Endor, and Hoth.
They are,
the three
yeah,
most
yeah.
iconic planets in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And yeah, because it is pretty much Star Wars greatest hits, you could call this, and it'd still be a appropriate title.
Basically, yeah, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much, because it is just like an all round great time, really. It's got all of the high points.
Yeah, it's just an adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So I love that shot of Phasma there walking down the corridor was used in all the trailers, and it was this badass, oh, who's this chrome stormtrooper? And the shot ends in the actual film with her being rugby tackled by Chewbacca. I just love that that's what the shot actually is.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think...
And we've got the duel coming up between Kylo Ren and Rey in a minute, and yeah, I really like the duel, and it does amaze me that Full Fat Videos haven't done a video on it yet, because they've practically done videos for every duel in the Star Wars saga so
yeah.
far. Well, the majority of them anyway. Yeah.
It is amazing. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Full
really
Fat
well done.
Videos. I really... Yeah. Yeah, I really like Full Fat Videos because, yeah, they're proof that you can be constructive and still have a large audience and gain views. You can gain a large audience by being constructive and fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because while I don't agree with them all the time, they're still very interesting to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're not aggressive either. They're not. None of their videos. None of their videos are like, why this is the worst thing in the universe. But it's just all...
Yeah, because like on their video of the timeless children. They don't cry about it. They
Yeah, yeah,
just say they just construct on why they don't think it works,
yeah,
and
exactly,
that's
yeah.
fair enough. Yeah, and also they're very open-minded as well because I know they weren't the biggest fans of Series 11, and then they made that video saying Series 12 was good until the finale or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
they were fairly positive towards Series 12 until the finale, and yeah, that's what I like about them.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that they were. It's not that they were actively hating every little bit of Series
hmm
12 just because.
They may get them views for being white supremacists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, when you first saw this, did you have an inkling that Han Solo was going to die, or did you think he was going to stick around for the whole trilogy?
Uh, I thought he was gonna live up until that bit where he walked onto the bridge. That's the bit where I was like, oh,
Ah,
oh, is something happening here? Like I, that was the bit where I sort of went, oh, I think this is the end for Han.
yeah, it is a shame he's not around in the next two films because I think he and John Boyega they have great chemistry together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like his brief scene in Rise of Skywalker. His little cameo. It's really well done, I think. And yeah, this he
Mm-hmm.
and I like old Han, and I wish we got to spend more time with him. But at the same time, it's a really well done death when we get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those reactions from Rey when she does use the Force, like, because obviously she thinks she's no one, so she's probably thinking, how can I use the Force? So she's
Yeah,
probably thinking,
yeah,
oh, it's luck, so other people can still be the hero instead of me. Hence
yeah,
why she goes to
exactly.
find Luke Skywalker. Yeah, this space battle, it's good, but to be honest, I think out of the Disney era Star Wars film, Rogue One has the best one.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Hands down, my favourite part
hmm
about Rogue One is those last 20 minutes on the Battle of Scarif.
hmm
We've just missed the wonderful Billy Lord, Carrie Fisher's daughter, who is a recurring character through
Oh,
a minor recurring character throughout the sequel trilogy. She gets a bigger role as the films go on, but she's wonderful. I really like Billy Lord.
okay. hmm
I couldn't tell you the character's name in this. I don't know if she's ever named, but I just she opens the Last Jedi as well because at the start of the Last Jedi she's the one who on grind levels like forget the shipments. There's
hmm
no time. Like yeah. I know it's only a minor thing, but when do we actually ever, apart from this, get to see Chewbacca's fingers like that? I know it sounds so weird.
Oh,
It sounds so weird, but you don't necessarily
yeah.
like that close up of his fingers, like pressing the button. I know it sounds so weird. It sounds really bizarre, but it's not often we actually see that.
hmm
Now, the fact that she's wearing Finn's jacket there is actually a part of a deleted scene, I think. It's there's a slightly
Yeah, thought
yeah,
so.
there's an action set piece where they use the speeder to get to this engine room kind of thing, and they're being pursued
Hmm.
by First Order people, and yeah, that's in that whole scene.
Okay.
I think it is on the disc, but
Hmm.
the CGI is unfinished.
Seems awful dangerous to have a bridge like
It
that
does,
with
yeah.
no railing.
I'd be paranoid.
That was
Like,
also a design flaw on the Death Star.
yeah,
You know what would have made the scene really dark?
yeah.
If Han said "I love you" and Kylo Ren, when he kills him, when he's got him impaled, said "I know" and lets
Ooh,
him die.
that would have been. Oh man.
That would have been so dark.
Yeah, this scene's brilliant. Like these two actors are just on fire. Like
Yeah.
really good.
Hmm.
And I think this and Blade Runner 2049 are the two best performances I've ever seen from Harrison Ford. Like they're both they both show that he actually
I've not.
can act.
I have not seen the two Blade Runner films in ages. I first saw them about 2, 3 years ago, but yeah, I need to give them a rewatch.
Yeah, well, the problem with them is they're quite hard films to just put on, aren't they? Because they're very kind of slow
Yeah.
and that's what I love about them is that they're so slow and sort of
Hmm.
contemplative. But it does make them difficult to sort of go. I'm gonna put Blade Runner on today, like. And I love again talking about the filmmaking. I love that the lighting here. His face is like half in red, half in light, and
Hmm.
it's like the duality. And
Yeah,
then when he
and also,
kills Han, like his face just gets bathed in the red. It's really cool.
yeah, and there's tears in his eyes as well.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's amazing.
When he says, "I want to be free of," yeah, and when he says, "I want to be free of this pain," you almost think, "Oh, was he gonna, oh, is he gonna come back to the light?" But the pain
Mm.
is the the light probably is the pain for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
It's really well done. And do you know what? I really love that line there. The
yeah.
whole "I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it." I love that they brought that back for Rise of Skywalker. You know when he chucks his lightsaber away, he says the exact same line,
Hmm.
and I think that's a really cool callback.
Hmm.
Yeah, now his face is like completely bathed in red, and it's really,
And now it's
really
fully
well
in
done.
red because
Yeah, I love the music.
no.
I love the music as well. Like, like oh,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it should have been. I loved you. I know.
oh,
Oh, should have said "I know," then twisted it further,
yeah,
as if to say you. It's like that scene on The Simpsons where that girl Bart fancies rips out his heart. You won't be needing this.
oh yeah. Oh my, it's such an incredible scene. I just and Leia feeling it as well. Oh, it's
And I
brilliant.
love how Leia can sense it as well.
Yeah, it's really well done.
I love how this, even this wound that Chewie gives him is important to the lightsaber fight because he keeps hitting it,
Oh yeah.
and blood comes out. It's like, oh,
Oh,
that is that is gonna hurt.
it's incredible. It's so
Yeah,
good. Like when he keeps hitting it in the blood on the snow and everything. It's oh
it's like he doesn't care about the pain.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, and I can remember people saying that, when Kylo Ren's trying to take Anakin's lightsaber and Rey catches it with the Force, people have said that should have been Luke Skywalker, but I have to disagree because I just felt it would have raised more questions.
yeah,
Like, because I bet people would have gone, "Yay!" but then they've gone, "Wait, what?"
yeah.
Something like
Exactly.
that. Like,
Yeah,
it would have been a nice twist, but it just would have raised too many questions, particularly when you're at the climax.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
think, and that again is an example of someone thinking with, oh, wouldn't that be cool?
Mm,
Like a fan fiction mentality in a way.
yeah.
Like just thinking of what would look cool instead of
Hmm.
what would actually make sense.
Ow. It feels pain when he does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When he calls him traitor and he's like, okay, it's a bit like Droopy the dog. That makes me mad.
I love the lighting in this when the two sabers hit one another and like you just get this
Yeah,
kind
the
of
lighting's
purple,
brilliant, yeah.
like
And
this
it,
mix
it
of
turns
red and
like
blue. It's brilliant.
purple.
Yeah, yeah, purple. Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah, and the lightsaber pulsates as well. Oh, it's so
yeah.
good. And it's such a clumsy fight because obviously he's wounded and he's never held a lightsaber before.
Mm. Oh God, this stunning
And
to
again,
look
just
at.
one like nip to the shoulder. Yeah, that small nip to the shoulder there that he uses.
Ooh.
Oh, ouch.
Well, yeah, that's the thing because I remember when the trailer came out and everyone was like, "Oh, the crossguard lightsaber looks really silly," and that's showing exactly why it's
Hmm.
useful. That shows exactly why it's a useful thing to have.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, this bit gives me goosebumps every time.
Yeah, when the Force theme comes in, that's great.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And when she ignites it as well, like,
Yeah, full fat videos. How about you do a video on this duel? I'm waiting.
please do. Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah, and then with that sound, that bong, and the fact
Um,
that the lightsaber can cut down those trees as well, it just shows you
yeah.
if it can do that to a tree, what can it do to a human?
Yeah, absolutely. And what I like about that duel is the fact that both of them are very, very rough in a way. Like it's inexperienced, and it shows
Hmm.
that both of them haven't had much training. Kylo's obviously had more, but they haven't. They're not completely experienced. They're very sort of amateurish, and I love that. They're sort of it's really raw, and they're just hitting them against
Hmm.
each other. Sort of no real technique to it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, this bit is probably the least interesting part of the climax because again,
Yeah,
it just feels just too similar to A New Hope. It's a ticking clock, and they've
yeah.
got to blow it up before the clock expires. But Yeah, it's alright, I guess.
Basically, just generic space battle, isn't it? It's nothing really to write home about.
Yeah. hmm
I feel like when you watch this duel in a dark room, especially, like the lights are just stunning.
Yeah,
Like it really just like. Oh,
they are, yeah.
I really want to get
hmm
that. I mean, I'll never get it because it's far too expensive to spend that kind of money on. But have you seen? There's that Philips
Oh, yeah.
Hue box. Uh, have you seen that? It's like you
I,
put.
I don't think I have, no.
It's like a smart box that you connect your
I
TV
don't
and
think I
you
have.
put lights on the back of the TV and it mirrors the light on the screen. So if there's a lightsaber, for example, the light.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's videos of it online. It's really hard to explain without seeing it in person. But like, say if a lightsaber swings on the
Yeah.
screen from left to right, a blue light will go from left to right on the lights behind the TV, and it's like supposed to simulate the lights on the screen. And I just, that would be so cool.
hmm
But I'm not going to spend that much money on it because they're quite expensive.
Well, as a kid, particularly with the Slovene two-parter, when the Slovene unmasked and you got that blue light, it's perfect when you shut all the curtains.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
dark night. You turn off all the lights. The blue when the Slovene are coming out of their skins just fills the entire room, and it's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, again, she just says the Force, and she starts to believe. I think
Yes, yeah,
that's like the power of the Force, in my opinion. It's about faith and believing. But when you start using it for your own advantage, that's when you turn to the dark side. Yeah. And also, I think it is a fair fight because Kylo is wounded here. So
yeah. The
yeah,
scar, yeah.
if he um if he was if he wasn't wounded, then I don't think then he probably could have beaten Rey. Now I do know here's a fun fact: Daisy Ridley was in the In-Betweeners too,
Yeah, yes, she
but
was, yeah.
she's not in the theatrical cut. She's in the deleted scenes where they go
Yeah,
up to the uni house, and they're dressed as Harry Potter characters, and
yeah.
I think yeah, the guy says, "You actually invited him. He was staring over my shoulder when I was making the invitation. What else was I supposed to do? Not invite him?"
Did
But yeah, they had to
yeah.
reshoot that scene, but she couldn't come back because obviously she was doing this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't they want more for her? But it was this that sort of prevented that. Yeah,
Yeah. hmm
because she hadn't done it. She was in an episode of Silent Witness, I think, and I think she might have been in Hollyoaks. Just yeah, she wasn't in much before this.
Yeah. neither was John Boyega or Oscar Isaac, I think. John Boyega had done Attack the Block. I'm not sure about Oscar Isaac. Was he
I
kind of a name before he joined Star Wars, or?
I'm not sure. I'd never seen him in anything before, but I think, yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, because it kind of, again, it goes back to George Lucas, casting unknowns for the original film.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've also got quite a few known actors in this, like Andy Serkis and I'd probably say Gwendolyn Christie as well.
Oh yeah, I forget Gwendolyn Christie's in this. It's because she's under the mask all the time, and it's like,
Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Now, J.J. Abrams says he regrets this scene because Leia kind of seemingly ignores Chewie.
She should have hugged Chewie.
Yeah, she just sort of looks at him and sort of nods, and I do agree.
They both
yeah,
lost Han, yeah.
I do agree. I think, yeah, and J.J. Abrams has said since that he kind of regrets the way this scene went, but
yeah. Well, they're a bit sour after Return of the Jedi because there's an alternate ending where Chewie's like, "Finally, 2 trilogies and I can say a damn word. Now where's that bitch that called me a walking cunt?" That's from Robot Chicken. Apparently, the reason for his way of talking is because he's got a hairball in his throat. Yeah, I'll admit, this is a bit convenient. He just wakes up when
yeah,
when the story's over.
Yeah, it is a little bit convenient. Yeah, I don't necessarily mind it, but yeah.
And yeah, I suppose, and I do think it makes sense in The Last Jedi for only Rey to go to Luke.
Yeah.
Because, immediately when The Last Jedi starts, the First Order is in pursuit of the Resistance. If they all went to the planet where Luke is, then the First Order can just trace them there.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
And that could basically screw up the entire plan. Poor Finn.
Isn't there an Ewok here?
I don't know.
I think if you look in the crowd as they fly away, there is an Ewok. I think it's like right in the corner of the screen or something. Having a look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a blink and you'll miss it thing.
Mm-hmm. I remember in the trailer for the Skywalker Saga Lego, there's that it's like really dramatic for the first minute, but then it's intercut with this where Rey says, "Master Skywalker, I finally found you." Because obviously she just sees the cloak, turns around, it's 2 porgs standing on each other,
Yeah.
and Luke comes along and goes, "Ahem."
Well, actually, this whole, in the Lego Force Awakens game, getting to Luke is is a whole level, and it's like a really long
Oh,
level of climbing the
ah,
steps. It's a really like you have to you bring Chewie along with you to figure out the puzzles and yeah,
okay.
it's quite a long level. I love the music in this bit though. I think it's really good.
Someone, someone needs to make an edit of this where it immediately cuts into The Last Jedi.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
it you know, you've got that big Force music, and then it just cuts to Luke throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder.
God, I remember seeing this in the cinema and just being like, "Holy shit!" Like you're just being so like, oh.
Yeah,
And then when it ends, just being like, "Oh, we got to wait 2 years for the next one." Like, so into
yeah.
it. Like,
I
it's
remember
so
there
good.
being complaints saying Luke Skywalker didn't do anything in The Force Awakens. Yeah, but uh, yeah, but that's the thing. He wasn't in the trailers prominently or
No,
anything.
exactly. Yeah,
So
that's sort of. And I think there's a on the bonus features of this, there's footage of them doing the initial read through, and J.J. Abrams sort of talked about, yeah, well, Mark kept mispronouncing Kylo's name. He kept saying Kylo Ren, but no one wanted to correct him because we were all in the presence of a legend. So like, and there's footage of it, and Mark Hamill just keeps going
yeah.
Kylo Ren, like. It's just a brilliant ending. Like I remember just at the time being like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
But what's funny? What's
Then Ryan
funny?
Johnson
Yeah, go
came
on.
along and said, "Let's make it different."
Let's
Yeah, I was
make it
just gonna say,
different.
Ryan Johnson came along and said, "Yeah, how about this happens?"
And what's interesting is I think Mark Hamill gets one of the top billings, right? I think it's starring Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, even though
I
he was
think
in it
so.
for five
Yeah.
seconds.
Yep.
I think that's right. But yeah, just
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, just waiting for the cast to come
yeah,
up.
same.
Yeah, because I'm sure Harrison Ford gets top billing.
I think it is.
I
I
could
think
be
it's
wrong.
yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, there it is.
Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
He's only in it for 5 seconds. I love that they did that though. Like they put the original three cast members up there. I think that's really nice.
Mhm.
Even though they're in it less, but
Mhm.
yeah, The Force Awakens. Then I love it still.
Yeah, I still really enjoy it. It's a fun film. It's a fun time at the movies. Yeah, it reminded me why I love Star Wars,
Yeah,
basically, when I first watched it.
same,
And it still does, yeah.
same. Yeah, yeah. Is it a bit too
Fair
safe?
enough if
Maybe,
you
but it's so
don't
much
like
fun.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
hmm
And fair, like you say, fair enough if you don't like it, but
Fair
it's
enough
just
if you think it's the worst movie ever made,
yeah,
have a bit of
yeah.
perspective.
Have a bit of perspective. Yeah, that's right. And there are issues with it. I could have done with a bit more world building and like a clearer backdrop for the conflict, but I can name like hundreds of bits in this that I love, and I
Yeah.
feel like when you can do that with a film, it's sort of like, well, is it really bad? That's the thing. I have my
hmm
flaws, but there's so much good in it, and
Yeah.
there's so much I do love, and it's like, yeah. YOLO
Yeah, it's a
Ziff.
film I still enjoy watching. YOLO Ziff.
YOLO Ziff.
That is a cool name.
I think who was the voice consultant for BB-8? Because it's like a famous actor. Like it's actually a kind of a famous person who was just the voice consultant. Let me look this up quickly.
I don't know.
Because I think it came out and everyone was like, "Holy
Is it
shit!"
Ben
What?
Burt again?
No, I don't think it was. It was Oh, it was two. It was Ben Schwartz and Bill Hader, who are obviously quite big actors in America, and they were just doing the little beats
Yeah.
and the. It's just kind of nuts, really, when you think about it. But and I think I've got
Yeah.
one I said
They
earlier.
filmed.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they filmed the majority of this in Pinewood Studios, didn't they?
They did, yeah, they did, and
Yeah.
the
Can you actually visit the studios and like go on like go around a tour or something in that, or do they not allow it?
I've never seen them allow it, but it'd be cool if they did do that because obviously they do in Leavesden Studios. They do the Harry Potter studio tour,
Yeah.
which that is pretty cool. They could do a Star Wars one because they've done. Yeah, because where were the prequels shot? What studio were they? Were they Pinewood?
They might have been
I
Pinewood,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of them were in the UK. It would be cool if they did a Star Wars set tour like that. And earlier when I said like there's so much love in every frame of this film, looking at these credits, it kind of really brings that home. Like there's so much. Yeah, and the behind the scenes documentary on this is really. It brings it home how happy everyone was to be working on this film, and it really shows.
Oh yeah, because I think John Boyega and Daisy Ridley they were like in tears of happiness when they stepped onto the set of the Millennium Falcon. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Just brilliant.
And I guess we haven't spoken about the score in this one other than Rey's theme. Like, what do you think of the score as a whole?
Yeah. I do like it, yeah. I just don't know whether it was John Williams personally or whether it's just movie scores in general, but I with the sequel trilogy, I don't notice the music as much as the other films, but is that just down to how music has changed in film? Because a lot of the time, music now just feels like background noise, rather than being a full bombastic score that can fit with what's happening on screen.
Yeah, well, I think for this film, he wasn't with the orchestra that he usually conducts with, so he had different people actually recording the music, so that was a factor. I think his best music for the sequel trilogy is The Last Jedi. I think the music in that is just stunning. Rise of Skywalker, though, the music in that.
Particularly when.
Yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say, particularly when Kylo Ren kills Snoke, and also when they use the Force theme. That's really good music in that.
Absolutely,
Last Jedi.
yeah.
That's probably the best score of the sequel trilogy.
Oh, it is, yeah. Well, that's the thing, because Rise of Skywalker sort of... I don't remember much from that score. So it is interesting, you're right, that I think the sequel trilogy...
No.
I mean, you can't go wrong with John Williams. Like, he's never done a bad score, but I do think, overall, the sequel trilogy is his weakest effort, but... That's not to say it's bad. It's just like you said, it's not maybe not quite as memorable, but who knows? Who knows? It it might become massively memorable in the future, and I still really like it a lot. And like I said, I really like the Resistance theme, and there's a lot of memorable themes in there. I think the Resistance theme, Rey's theme, the First Order theme.
Yeah.
God, these credits are long,
credits
aren't they?
go on for ages.
I was going to say, these credits are really long, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh.
I think the longest I think it's the Goblet of Fire. Like they go on for like 15 minutes. Like the credits are really long on Goblet of Fire.
Yep.
And it is interesting because you watch the original trilogy, and the credits are like 5 minutes, maybe if that, because
Oh yeah.
they're so short, and then you get to the sequels, and it just kind of brings home how much the film industry has changed, really.
Oh yeah.
Really
I
does.
mean, it should be like what The Simpsons did, where they're like, the truth is they couldn't make all these episodes without all these people involved. Just cuts to a very quick credit scroll, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. What was it in the credits of the Simpsons movie? Doesn't Homer pop up and go, "These people worked really hard on this film, and damn it, they're going to
Yeah.
be appreciated."
Yep. Plus, also the credits are just really small.
Yeah, I was thinking that they
Even on a
are.
big screen, they're like the font's so tiny.
Yeah, they are. They really are. And I kind of imagine if the font size was as big as it was in the other films, the credits were probably a lot longer.
Mm. Oh yeah.
So sometimes when you open a book and you go, "Oh, this book doesn't look very thick," and you open it and the text size is so tiny, it's like
Mhm.
that's why.
Exactly.
Oh my god, they're
Just one
still
more
going.
minute to go, and
They're
that's
still
it.
going. I don't
Oh
remember them being this long. That's insane. Like,
no, neither do I.
I don't.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm willing to bet people. I mean, if people do listen to our commentaries all the way through, I'm willing to bet they just turn off when the credits
Yeah.
roll.
I mean, yeah.
Uh,
I think it's all right in the cinema because in the cinema you can kind of discuss. Like, I used to discuss with my friends what they thought of the film in the credits because we used to stay through the credits just to kind of listen to the music. But we also used to kind of discuss the film and stuff. And
well, with MCU films, I can remember, we'd all remain quiet. Like, I don't think
oh
anyone
yeah,
would discuss anything because, particularly when Infinity War happened, no one said a word when the
oh
credits
yeah,
rolled. We all waited patiently for the post-credit theme, and then it
same,
happened.
exact same thing happened. Yeah, but that's it.
So
We're
that was The
done with
Force
Force Awakens.
Awakens.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the commentary. We will be back next week with The Last Jedi. Ooh, we're gonna get into the controversial
Which
stuff
I
now.
bet you're all. I mean, just watch the views for these commentaries skyrocket.
Yeah, yeah. Looking forward to that one. In the meantime, you can listen to our other commentaries. I've got a whole playlist of them on my channel. Go check out Isaac's channel, and yeah, we will see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.